What's going on, guys? Back at it again with another Ember build here on the channel for you guys. This one I am calling the Cat Shot, which is essentially a play on words for crack shot, seeing as she is a bow build. This build ended up being pretty fantastic for two reasons. One, it's a bow build, and bow builds generally deal a little bit more damage than your average companion DPS builds, in my opinion, only because the skills in the skill line itself are pretty fantastic to say the least. But also, Ember's companion skills or companion racial skills or passives are tailor-made for DPS, and therefore really increasing the overall damage output of your companion. So with that being said, I'm really excited to jump into this one, guys. If you are too, do me a huge favor, drop a like on this video. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because it really does help this channel grow. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. Alright guys, so we're actually going to start with the Khajiit passive called Cunning, mainly because it 100% revolves around the damage output of this specific build. Cunning reads as increases critical chance by 3% and damage done by 3%. Nothing much to go off of to talk about this. Essentially, it just deals a higher critical chance rating by 3%, and damage done is increased by an additional 3%, which is absolutely fantastic for any damage dealer out there or any damage build for Ember, which is absolutely fantastic. In the number 1 slot in terms of skills, we have Piercing Arrow. Piercing Arrow reads as Ember plants a masterfully aimed arrow in the enemy's vital spot, dealing 10,626 physical damage. This is a very basic skill in terms of what it does. It just shoots an arrow, essentially dealing a moderate amount of damage at 10,626 damage, which is absolutely fantastic. To make things even better, the cooldown is only 8 seconds, which is a lot faster than average in my personal opinion, making this an actual great skill to have slotted for any DPS build, bow DPS build of course, seeing as she deals a pretty moderate amount of damage, very frequently increasing the overall DPS of the build in general. Absolutely fantastic skill, guys. 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Highly recommend for any bow build to have this skill slotted. In the number 2 slot, we have Trick Shot. Trick Shot reads as Ember fires a burst of arrows to pin enemies in front of them, dealing 5,313 physical damage and immobilizing them for 4 seconds. This does have a slightly higher than average cooldown at 16 seconds. However, it more than makes up for it because it gives you not just a little bit of damage of 5,313, but a little bit of usable practicality behind it in immobilization of enemies in front of her for 4 entire seconds, allowing her to just stay alive that much longer if she can just keep them at bay. Great skill to have in my opinion. In the number 3 slot is another fantastic skill. This one is on Ember's class of Lightning Caller, which is Crystal Blast. Crystal Blast reads as Ember conjures dark crystals to bombard an enemy, dealing 10,626 magic damage. This, like Piercing Arrow, is essentially identical in that sense actually, because it deals the same amount of damage at 10,626 damage, and it also has the identical cooldown of 8 seconds, making this a very, very, very effective skill to have slotted, because again, it just increases the overall damage output of Ember, because this skill has a very low cooldown and a moderate amount of damage dealing from this. So between this and Piercing Arrow, it really starts to see the damage potential from this specific build. Of course, you're not a good DPS build if you don't have a damage over time, and that is what the number 4 slot is in Viper's Bite. Viper's Bite reads as Ember shoots an arrow covered in Bandari poison at an enemy, dealing 5,313 poison damage and an additional 15,936 poison damage over 8 seconds. The cooldown is at 12 seconds, so it's pretty average in my opinion. On top of that, this skill is one of those types of skills that I absolutely love, because it deals an initial 5,313 poison damage, but also on top of that, an additional damage over time, in this case being 15,936 poison damage, which again, altogether in a period of 8 seconds, she just by this having this skill slotted deals over 20,000 damage overall in the period of 8 seconds. Absolutely fantastic skill to have slotted. 100% recommend this. This is another one of those skills that if you're going to be using a bow build, this is absolutely recommended. In terms of the bow skills that's probably flexible is trick shot, because piercing arrow and viper's bite are just too good to pass on by. In the number 5 slot, we have Second Wind. Second Wind reads as Ember uses their backup resources, reducing the cooldown of all their other abilities by 5 seconds. The cooldown is at 16 seconds, but the fact that this reduces the cooldown of all of your other damaging skills really just increases or helps at least in the overall DPS output of your companion, because she will effectively be able to use her skills just that much faster. This is a fantastic skill to have for any DPS build really, for Ember, because of its usability, because of its practicality, effectively reducing the ability cooldown by 5 full seconds for all of your skills. For your ultimate, or her ultimate I should say, is a Raging Storm. Ember creates a thunderstorm that follows the target, striking the enemies within for 1992 shock damage every 1 second for 8 seconds. That's effectively 8 full ticks of 1992 shock damage. But on top of that is the fact that the final strike deals an additional 3,000 additional damage to enemies who are within 25% health, effectively also making this an execute type of ability. Great skill to have, period. This skill is absolutely fantastic. This, I've said it before, is probably my go-to for trash mob clearing, because it deals a lot of damage to a lot of enemies in an area, because this is a pretty big AoE that it does. And on top of that, it also acts as an execute. So if the damage ticking didn't off them, they should be within 25% health, and the last part of this will deal 300% more damage for people that are under 25% health, making this an absolutely fantastic ultimate in my opinion. With that being said, let's go ahead and check out her gear. In terms of gear, I like to emulate my companions in the same fashion that I actually build my own characters. What I mean by that is simple. Whenever I build my own characters, I go by 2 5-piece sets and a 2-piece monster set. Monster sets aren't really a thing for companions, so I'll just call it a 2-piece set. So 2 5-piece sets and a 2-piece. With that being said, the first 2-piece set is going to be medium, both medium in aggressive. Medium in particular because in the weapon armor, medium actually increases the damage output by 1% per medium piece equipped. Little spoiler there, current bonus is 7%. But this also decreases the cooldown of roll dodge by 5% for each medium piece equipped. The current bonus is 35%. And the current cooldown is at 5.2%, basically allowing her to just get out of trouble that much faster. So great to have medium armor equipped for that reason. And of course, the trait of choice here is aggressive. This should be an obvious thing here because aggressive really just helps with the damage output overall and flat out by 1.7% per piece equipped, assuming you have purple gear, of course. So much so that the second set that we're going, and is also the first 5-piece set, is also medium in aggressive. This really is going to help your overall damage output. Therefore, I think it's absolutely imperative to have all 7 pieces, not just in medium, but also in aggressive for your maximization of damage output of your companion. In your final 5-piece set, we actually have Shattering. Shattering increases penetration by 1,300 for all 3 of your jewelry pieces, but because your weapon is considered a 2-piece, instead of being 1,300, it's actually 2,600 armor penetration, effectively making this that much better since, of course, if you can reduce the armor of your opponents, you will effectively be able to dish out more damage. So this goes very well. It pairs up very well with your aggressive medium pieces on your body. With that being said, let's go ahead and go over to the house and check out Ember's fashion. Alright guys, in terms of fashion, she's actually using the companion outfit, which is in this case Kinarthi's Pride set. Essentially, every piece is a part of this set or outfit style, so there's that, as you guys can see right here. In terms of dyes, in the number 1 slot for all pieces is blood gold. In the number 2 slot for applicable pieces, because not every piece has the 2nd or 3rd slot available, is undaunted bronze. And last but not least, the final piece is cyrodiilic steel for your little chains and stuff like that. In terms of weapon, she has Khajiit Bow 4, dyes undaunted bronze for your 1st slot, blood gold for your 2nd slot, and cyrodiilic steel for your 3rd. I think overall this looks absolutely fantastic. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of Ember's overall fashion. With that being said, let's go see if we can solo a world boss. And there you have it, guys. The Catshot build is officially completed here on the channel. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys thought of this specific build. Personally speaking, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend this build. Very, very good build all the way around, as you guys saw in the boss fight for yourself. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, do me a huge favor, drop a like on this video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, because it really does help this channel grow. So with that being said, catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.